Welcome on the Cosmic Atom, the Chosen One. This Saturday will be memorable. Please listen. This Saturday is more than simply another day on the calendar. It is not a typical day in which life passes unnoticed and moments pass softly. No, this Saturday has been divinely decreed. Cosmic eclipse, planned and divinely decreed to be spectacular. What's going to happen in your life has been concealed until now, sheltered by divine timing and insulated from premature exposure. This day, this moment, is charged with divine purpose. You've entered into an alignment that cannot be explained by logic, anticipated by trends, or controlled by circumstances. The skies are about to reveal a change so intimate and revolutionary that your future self is already enjoying it. This Saturday holds the germ of breakthrough, the wind of unexpected fever, and the force to propel you forward. Stay with this video till the conclusion. There's a reason you're here, and this message resonates with your spirit. Write your best wishes in the comments, along with the number 99. Let us invigorate the environment via the power of conviction and collaborative purpose. This chapter is about desires coming true. This is a conduit for spiritual manifestation, and your words, energy, and guts to breathe life into your own tale. It's more important today than ever. Activate the energy that will cause the universe to react to your truth today. The Chosen One. I like this video. Subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, let us begin. Let's discuss why this Saturday will be memorable. Not only will something wonderful happen, but something miraculous has already begun. You may not see it yet. You may not have complete clarity, but you have experienced it. A change, a tension, a sensation of holy expectation persisted in the air, like lightning before a storm. That is not your imagination. It's your soul reacting to a coded message, a frequency that only the selected can perceive. You've reached a unique moment in time when things begin to alter quicker, deeper, and more supernaturally than you've ever seen before. This is no longer a season of waiting. It's the season of heavenly response. Heaven is responding to your alignment, and the earth is going to mirror what has happened in the unseen. This Saturday is a heavenly collision in which heaven meets your preparation, and the heavenly plan impacts the physical world in your favor. Something memorable is not necessarily significant in the perspective of the world. It might be something extremely personal, such as the completion of healing, an epiphany that changes your path. A phone call opens a new door, a relief from something that was dragging you down. A financial move that puts you in a new situation. God has been working behind the scenes, not just for your benefit, but also for your revelation. And you choose one. I was prepared for this. You've wandered down lonely trails. You've been through the stillness of paradise and the strain of being. You've outgrown environments that formerly seemed comfortable. And you walked with honesty even when no one noticed. You believed when it seemed absurd. And you have kept the flame alive when the winds blew strongly. That was never squandered. Actually, it was your training. Every adversity that did not destroy you has now become part of your authority. Every delay has turned into heavenly armor. This Saturday, all of that perseverance comes to life. All that covert obedience is rewarded. What makes this Saturday special is not just what happens outside of you, but also what awakens inside you. There's a part of you that has been dormant, waiting for this signal. You are not supposed to live a monotonous, boring existence. You are called to change the environment, carry light and exude power. And now, the inner version of you that was formerly simply surviving is taking on the role of someone who issues instructions and marches proudly with purpose. It's not only about getting. It is all about activation. The world is going to meet the version of you that was concealed in prayer, developed through pressure, refinement, and fire. You may not know it, but this Saturday is part of your magical chronology. Everything is aligning, not by chance, but by divine plan. You will notice that others are treating you differently. The doors open faster, indicating that your energy is attracting things you previously had to pursue. You've reached a vibration of ease, not because life has suddenly become flawless, but because your soul has grown. You're no longer responding to fear. You are reacting to heavenly suggestions. Heaven has been waiting for that inside revolution in you. The chosen one. Do not underestimate what a single day may bring when it is marked by God. You've been inquiring, searching, and knocking. And now your allotted hour has arrived. Even if it seems that nothing is happening, something has already changed. Your name has shown in rooms you have never entered. Your energy has traveled to areas your body has not yet gone. This Saturday marks a heavenly checkpoint. It serves as a reminder that you have not been forgotten, that your faith is working, and that your time has not yet come. It's already arrived. It just took a day like today to open it. There are no coincidences, not for the selected people. Everything's encoded. Every intuitive whisper, random message, repeating number, or weird timing. It all talks. And this Saturday, the message is louder. Heaven is communicating with clarity. The indicators are aligning. The delay is vanishing. And your destiny is attracting you like a magnet to metal. You don't need to push it anymore. You simply need to be ready. Be open. Be bold. Say yes to what comes next, even if it terrifies you. Because the most memorable aspect of this Saturday is that you do not have to be flawless. It only takes your obedience. You stepped into a new current. The old regulations no longer apply. Old worries are no longer dominant. This is not the you who questions your value. This is not the real you, who wonders whether it will ever happen. This is the awakened you. You are grounded. The you who is divinely directed and very naturally supported. You do not expect your life to alter. You are journeying through change. This Saturday, the change will not just be apparent. It will be undeniable. Something will corroborate what your soul already understands. The heavenly promise has found you. You may find that when you choose one, the environment around you starts to change. Lighter, more electric, as if something invisible is attempting to make itself known. That is not a coincidence. That is confirmation. Your spiritual environment is reacting to the unseen command that has been given over your existence. You've entered a world in which the things that used to oppose you begin to relinquish what is yours. Don't be shocked if this Saturday includes moments that seem almost too beautiful to be true. That's what divine orchestration looks like when alignment replaces strife and time becomes your friend. You've been feeling it deep inside. The building, the anticipation, the definite sensation that you've been ready for a certain moment. This is it. This is one of those holy times when heaven draws closer, spiritual worlds open, and doors that have been locked for no apparent reason begin to swing wide. This Saturday isn't about figuring out what will happen. It's about being completely present so you don't miss it when it happens. Because what is memorable isn't always loud. Sometimes a whisper may change your whole course of action. Sometimes calm pours in like a torrent, washing away years of dread. Sometimes the appropriate person, phrase, or opportunity appears at precisely the right moment. Don't underestimate the impact that modest changes may have. You've been educated to watch for earthquakes, but sometimes the answer comes in the form of a calm wind. And on Saturday, that lovely wind may be your sign. A quick thought, a slight pull. I received an unexpected SMS message. An unexpected discharge of anxiousness you weren't aware you were harboring. Divine action may not necessarily declare itself with pyrotechnics, but you will recognize it by the fruit it bears. You will sense relief, readjustment, and reassurance. That is your sign. That's yours. Yes, The world you formerly knew cannot accommodate the version of yourself that is now forming. You've been strolling in preparation long enough. You've fasted and prayed. You have survived the stillness. You've seen others climb while you waited in humility, wondering when it will be your time. This Saturday is more than simply a celebration of potential. It is the start of a new pattern. It is your turn, not for favor, but for progress. The gates that were previously locked are now open. The resources that were previously locked up are now being freed. And the favor that seemed far away is suddenly pouring straight to your name. You have been chosen and will no longer need to prove yourself. The energy you currently carry is evidence. It talks before you enter a room. It attracts what is intended for you while repelling what isn't. This Saturday represents a transformation in your visibility, not in the eyes of man, but in the spiritual world. The brightness surrounding you has increased. You have progressed from being neglected to being divinely noticed. What seemed like hiding was really protection, but the signal has altered. Now that the call has gone out, what is the response? It'll be memorable. Allow yourself to go confidently. Even if you don't feel prepared, remember this. Readiness isn't an emotion. It is a state of alignment, and you are in agreement. Your steps are directed. Your hands are anointed. Your thoughts are inspiring. Every time you've spent in peaceful obedience has built spiritual momentum that is going to result in genuine, practical breakthroughs. Do not shrink. Don't second guess. Do not wait for permission. You are the proof. Your presence is the indication. Something is occurring in the background that you can't see yet. Transactions, swaps, and heavenly permissions are signed with your name. Heaven is no longer working on possibilities. It is working on certainty. You're not being considered. You're being confirmed. This Saturday will serve as a reminder that God has not forgotten about your specific needs. Not a single tear, not one act of faith, not one quiet prayer when ignored. It is now being returned to you, not just in comfort, but in plenty. You will experience a bodily change. Your body will feel lighter, and the emotional weight you have been carrying will start to lighten. Worry will weaken its grasp. The perplexity will vanish as fate clears the area around it. That's why some individuals have left your life. That is why certain plans did not pan out. You were not being rejected. You were being honed. You were being moved. And on Saturday, that posture starts to make sense. Things will begin to move on their own without your intervention. Conversations occur without being planned. Opportunities happen without effort. That is because the task has already been completed in the spirit. You're simply walking into the outcome. Don't allow your head convince you otherwise of what your soul already understands. It's not too wonderful to be true. It's precisely what is due. You've completed the inner work. You've completed the invisible labor. And now the fruit is being unleashed. Do not glance around and compare your route to anybody else's. Your trip has been custom-made. Your ascension has been wonderfully timed. You're not late. You're precisely on schedule. You're not behind. You're being lifted via a higher path. And this Saturday demonstrates it. The atmosphere will alter. The indications will become clearer. The energy will change. Observe how things begin, aligning, like magnets. See how clarity replaces uncertainty. See how fast the impossible becomes your new normal. Maintain sensitivity. Continue to be open. Remain calm. You don't need to struggle anymore. You don't need to pursue. The version of you that had to live has been replaced by the one that leads, creates, and commands. The power you wield is quiet, but it is strong. The authority you enter does not beg. It just moves. This is your new beat. Grace. Over. Grind. Peace is over. Pressure. The presence is over. Panic. And this Saturday marks the miraculous entrance into that flow. Allow this truth to sink deeply inside you, chosen one. You are not waiting for a miracle. You're becoming the miracle. What you're entering is more than simply a blessing. It is a fulfillment. You mumbled, a fulfillment of prayers while no one was looking. A fulfillment of vows you've kept like a buried treasure in your soul. A fulfillment of the calling that has been ringing in your spirit from the day you knew you were unique. And this Saturday is not just a date. It is a threshold. One step over it, and you'll never be the same person again. You may notice a subtle change in your emotions, an increase in your energy, and a wave of peace that settles in areas where worry formerly thrived. That's spiritual confirmation. Do not disregard it. Embrace it, because what is occurring is neither random nor transient. It's a magnificent institution. Heaven is placing you in a new role. This isn't just a transitory high. This marks the beginning of your superhuman stabilizing. The ground under your feet is no longer unsteady. The vision you have is no longer ambiguous. What formerly seemed like survival mode has evolved into kingdom mode. You're not simply living. You're constructing. You're in charge. You are on the rise. And the greatest part, you won't have to force anything. The doors prepared for you will not demand effort. They'll recognize you. Your name has already been mentioned in places of power. People that you have yet to meet have already sought your presence. The energy you carry has moved ahead of you to herald what is coming. This Saturday marks the first apparent manifestation of what has been long planned in the unseen. The world is catching up with what God has already revealed about you. But clearly, heavenly timing leads to divine teaching. Do not disregard the nudges. Don't ignore the indications. Follow your instincts and reach out. Say yes, leave, relax, or speak out. This is not the time to overthink. This is the moment to trust your alignment. You're being directed. Your spirit is tuned into the frequency of destiny. Even if your rational mind cannot make sense of it, your soul understands how you're being carried. A stream lifts you, softly propelling you forward to what comes next. You may notice an unexpected sense of calm in formerly chaotic situations. That is the divine presence preparing you to accept. You may experience unexplained exhilaration or intense emotion. That is your spirit, responding to the new time frame that was recently triggered. This Saturday is not just any spiritual occasion. It is the unleashing of something old that has been inscribed into your life path. Long ago, it's the start of a heavenly reveal, and you're the centerpiece. Let go of fear. You no longer need it. It performed its job once, to keep you vigilant and protect you from uncertainty. However, it has no relevance to your intended destination. What makes this Saturday memorable is not because it provides anything dazzling, but that it represents your transition into a state of interior mastery. You're no longer confined to previous patterns, habits, or emotional traumas. You're developing the ability to lead from a place of healing. Someone who talks in excess. Someone who no longer need external affirmation to determine their value. This Saturday, pay attention to what comes up. It might be a chat, a message, a vision, or a revelation. It might be the fortitude to move away from something that no longer serves you, or the clarity to finally say yes to something that has always been yours. Do not be frightened to accept. You have been sowing, waiting, and believing for a long time. Receiving isn't selfish. It represents spiritual maturity. The crop is now exhibiting indications of growth. Trust that what comes into your life is not a coincidence. It's arranged. You'll notice that time feels different. It travels at different speeds. This is an indication that you've entered a heavenly flow in which your life is guided by purpose rather than time. You are being invited to a better understanding of divine timing. You'll know when to act, wait, talk, and remain silent. That is the mark of someone who has supernatural insight. And this Saturday, that discernment is growing in you. Watch how clearly you see this isn't simply a spiritual encounter, but a chronological change. A new series of events is being initiated, and your posture, openness, quiet, and trust are what enable that sequence to occur without opposition. So don't haste, doubt, or distract yourself with anxieties. This is the time to be totally present, to feel the weight of your being, and to recognize that something in you has changed. As a result, everything around you will start to alter. You are not the same. You grew in quiet, developed in obscurity, and are now exposed in heavenly light. People may not grasp it first, but they will notice the shine. They will feel a change. They will know that you are walking in something divine. This Saturday marks the beginning of a season in which explanations are unnecessary, since the data speaks for itself. Allow your life to be a confirmation. Let your alignment serve as your witness. Let your tranquility be your loudest response. You don't need to persuade anybody. You don't need to compete. You do not need to explain why you're shining differently, speaking differently, walking differently. It is divine. It's intentional. It is yours. And on Saturday, that purpose will begin to emerge. You aren't late. You are not forgotten. You are not neglected. You are precisely where you should be. And this moment, this hallowed Saturday, was always planned. The time did not cause a delay. It was a setup. It was precise. So now it's your time. When heavenly timing and human preparedness come together, something spectacular occurs. And that selected one is precisely what this Saturday is about. You've completed the inner work. You've remained loyal despite the chaos. You went alone without being applauded. And now heaven is responding. Not only do your prayers matter, but so does your posture. This Saturday isn't about making noise. It is about holy recognition. The invisible realm sees you. Angels assigned to your life are in action. There are silent movements taking place that will eventually speak out for you. This is the point in your journey that the supernatural starts to manifest as natural things that took years to come together now align in days. For seasons worth of obstructed paths will suddenly become apparent. Conversations that seemed impossible will begin to develop. This is not because the world has suddenly decided to favor you. It's because your soul has grown into heavenly resonance. You are now vibrating with the frequency of satisfaction. That's why everything starts to react differently. Don't be shocked if this Saturday is unusually quiet. Sometimes heaven speaks loudest and quiet. You may not hear fireworks, but you will sense a change in your soul, and an inner understanding will settle in your breast. I'm here. This is it. This is the moment I've been feeling. And when that sensation passes, you breathe. Establish a firm foundation. Allow it to fill you. Do not question it. Allow it to prove itself in the days ahead. The unforgettable does not always shout. It often speaks truth to those who listen. The chosen one. This Saturday is not supposed to be a random day on your calendar. It has been ringed in heaven. There's something precious about this moment. Something about this historical period has been kept hidden until now. You may now carry it. You may now hold what you used to drop. You have now been tested and trusted. And what comes on the other side of this transition affects not just you, but every life on which you have an influence. You're not just getting, you're being positioned. This implies that people will begin to seek you out, not because of what you own, but because of what you transport. Your item will become a lighthouse. Your vision will become viral. Your remarks will start to have weight, not just emotion, but spiritual power. Because when God marks a day for your rising, He releases all you need to carry the weight of your task. The ideas will arrive. Clarity will grow. The plan will unfold. And others will begin to gravitate toward your enthusiasm, intelligence, and leadership. Do not shrink. This Saturday represents a heavenly invitation to grow. Step into the greater form of yourself. Say yes to the calling, opportunity, and open doors. Even if they seem larger than you've ever known, you were never made to fit in tiny spaces. That's why your pain has been increasing. That pressure was not punishment. It was your soul urging you to get ready. You are outgrowing where you have been. And this Saturday, progress becomes obvious. You may even realize that what used to drain you no longer holds your interest. Distractions become less prevalent. Petty things fade. The drama no longer seems significant. That's how elevation works. That is your vibe increasing. You're no longer accessible for anything that does not fit with your mission. As a result, individuals and circumstances that are compatible with you will discover you more quickly. This Saturday will attract you to what is best for you, which includes abundance, clarity, creativity, and calm. Don't overanalyze what comes up. Receive it. Walk with it. Allow yourself to grow into the person who no longer seeks alignment, but lives from it. This day is about more than just one moment. It is about the heavenly transformation that this moment causes. The momentum will not cease. One encounter leads to another. One breakthrough will reveal another. One act of courage, this Saturday, might lead to a future you never imagined. It's not just exterior. There will be internal confirmations, too. You'll suddenly feel competent in ways you never have before. You'll talk without fear. You'll stand taller. You will be able to say no to what formerly held you back. And yes, to what you formerly considered worthless. That is not arrogance. That is heavenly alignment. That is the authority of someone who has stopped waiting for a sign and has become the sign. The selected one. Something spectacular is occurring. The cosmos is repeating your name. Heaven is putting everything into place. Earth is poised to reflect the truth of your call. And it's all tied to this Saturday. This isn't a metaphor. This is not spiritual hysteria. This is heavenly precision. Things that have been sluggish will pick up. The prayers that seemed unanswered are soon to return with interest. The stillness you've been sitting in is going to be filled by supernatural confirmation. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to ascend. And more importantly, be present. Today is a day for slowing down and tuning in. Pay attention to the tiny cues, the strange chats, and the times that seem larger than they should. Because all of those subtle supernatural nudges are signs that a change has occurred. This Saturday is not simply noted. It carries you into the future. This is the tipping moment, the chosen one, the unseen boundary that, once passed, cannot be reversed. This Saturday is more than simply a symbolic move. It is a heavenly activation. You aren't just stepping into a fresh day. You are entering a new identity, a new consciousness, and a new degree of power that has always been inside you, waiting until the designated time. That moment has arrived. There will be proof. Look for the indications. Divine alignment usually leaves behind hints. A door may open without a knock. A delay may be quickly removed. A resource may appear out of nowhere. These are affirmations, not coincidences. They are indications that what was promised is now being delivered. And it's more than simply providing. It's about placement. You're being positioned precisely where you need to be for impact, reception, and leadership. But let us be clear. This Saturday does not imply that everything is simple. Everything becomes conceivable. It indicates that the resistance you've faced is beginning to break. It indicates that the oil you previously carried in secret is suddenly visible in public. You're no longer trying to make things happen. You are now flowing with what has already been written for you. Your days of spiritual battle are giving way to celestial liberation. Yes, there may still be shadows that try to follow voices from your past, attempting to draw you back into fear, uncertainty, or humiliation. But they will not stick. Why? Because the version of you that emerges on Saturday is impenetrable. You have been tempered by the truth. You've been honed in isolation. You have been purified by stillness. And now you are walking with authority, not borrowed, not assumed, but earned by aligning with God's timetable. Expect to see a difference in how people view you. They may not be able to describe it, but they will recognize it. You'll project a sense of certainty. You'll project a feeling of stability. Not because you have all the answers, but because you've fully submitted to the divine wisdom that guides you. When you walk in that level of faith, everything changes. People can sense it. Spaces react to it. Circumstances conform to it. The momentum, rather than the event, is what will make this Saturday unique. What begins today does not finish with a single experience. It creates waves. It multiplies. It triggers a chain reaction that alters the following several weeks, months, and years of your life. A spark now turns into a fire tomorrow. That unexpected notion you had this Saturday might become your new source of income. You take a brave move. It has the potential to start a lasting relationship. You feel at ease. It indicates that you have escaped the storm and reached stability. Each level is expanding. Your mentality is shifting. Your standards are growing. Your expectations are being raised. As a result, your results will vary. You're no longer accessible for bare minimum miracles. You're invoking full-scale manifestation. Your life is becoming a magnet for plenty, clarity, and supernatural provision. And it all starts with how you show up on Saturday. Don't allow the old version of yourself interfere. The one who played tiny, the one who dreaded being judged, the one who awaited permission. That version is being decommissioned kindly, graciously, and forever. This Saturday, your future self takes the spotlight. You are brave, magnetic, smart, and courageous. You who does not pursue, since everything destined for you comes to you. This is what divine emergence looks like. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it occurs in the peaceful change of a perspective, in the silence of inner serenity, or in the strength of a firm choice. That's what makes this Saturday special. It is at this point when the inner alteration manifests itself as an external sensation. You aren't merely thinking differently. You are moving differently. You're making choices that represent who you've become rather than who you were. People will ask you what occurred. The fact is that you remembered. You remembered who you were. You remember the pledge. You recalled the vision you had let go of. And on Saturday, that recollection becomes resurrection. Things you believed were done. Dreams, ideas, and relationships may begin to reawaken. Not because they are returning the same, but because you are prepared to hold them in a different manner. You're not going back. You are not repeating. You are not relapsing into confusion or turmoil. The days of emotional cycles and spiritual survival are over. This Saturday marks the start of your journey for clarity, assurance, and favor. You're becoming someone people go to for serenity in the midst of storms, someone who walks through miracles as if they were usual. And that is the true reward. Not what you get, but who you become in the process. So stand tall. Take this Saturday seriously. Treat it as the divine appointment that it is. Honor it by your awareness, faith, and presence. Expect, believe, and watch. And when it occurs, do not be surprised when the change becomes obvious. Say thanks, then go forth confidently, because it is not the end. It's just the beginning. The last layer of this beautiful moment, selected one, represents everything you've been. You're not just witnessing something great happen. You embody the unfolding. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive.